Hey everyone, Mike Vaughn here. I am so pleased to introduce our guest. She is the writer of a show that I'm so obsessed with, and that is Astrid and Lilly Save the World. And we are talking to Alix Markman. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Mike. Happy to be here.
So just to start right off, what's it like to be like in the writer's room for such a really interesting and kind of surreal at times show?
Oh man, this has truly been a dream job from start to finish, and one of the most wonderful and positive experiences of my career. We Betsy and Noelle put together such a wonderful team of writers. Betsy and Noelle being our wonderful showrunners, Betsy Van Stone and Noelle Stamen. They put together just an amazing room where we all clicked creatively and personally. It was such a rewarding experience, and also, a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to go to work and talk about goo and gay things all day. So
It sounds like the dream job,
yeah.
honestly. um, so fans have already really resonated with the show. What's that like to already get such strong feedback?
it's it's been really incredible, and again, really rewarding. I'm probably going to sound like a broken record, but it's honestly it's just the truth. Especially seeing the way the characters resonate with so many different marginalized audiences, people who often don't see themselves represented on screen because of their size, because of their sexual orientation, etc. To see the way that the show is resonating, it's really rewarding. In the writers' room, we talked about how we were all, in some way or another, trying to create the show that we needed growing up. And I think in a lot of ways we have accomplished that. Just seeing the way that it is resonating with people. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that um, sorry, that is very touching because it is something that I would have loved to have seen growing up. So I think that that's amazing. Now, do you have a personal favorite episode or favorite moment from the show?
Oh, that's tough. I mean, obviously, I'm biased towards the two episodes that I was fortunate enough to get to write, which were episode 5 and episode 9. But I don't know if I could truly pick a favorite. They all, every time that someone tells me, "Oh, I'm watching episode whatever this week, I'm catching up on episode 6 or whatever," I just go, "Oh, that's a great one. That's a great one. It's a great one." Every week, they're all so much fun. So I'm going to not say my own episodes because that's tacky and unfair. I will give a shout out to, again, I love them all. I think I got to give a shout out to episode 7, because the non coming out moment between Lily and Astrid is just so beautifully done. It's exactly what we were hoping to accomplish with that scene. And, of course, it sets up the Fortwell arc for the remaining episodes, which I am personally a fan of, not that I'm biased or anything. So yeah, I love them all. I'll give a special shout out to episode 7.
Okay, great. Now, this was something that I got to ask Jenna and Samantha, but if there was one guest star you could have, if there is going to be an upcoming season, whom would it be?
So before we start talking about dream casting, I do want to say we really do have our dream cast on this show. I mean, we just completely lucked out. I can't imagine anybody else as these characters. We are so lucky to have the cast that we have. Having said that, if I were to add to that cast, my personal dream that I'm holding out for is, this is a really nerdy answer, disclaimer, I really want to get Doug Jones to play a monster.
Oh, yeah.
For anybody listening who may not know who Doug Jones is, he is the monster guy in Hollywood. He's in all Guillermo del Toro's films. He's currently on Star Trek, which, you know, personally, I'm like, well, he's already in Canada. If he's filming Star Trek, like, can't we just bring him out to St. John's for a few days? That would be incredible. And of course, he's the lead gentleman in the scariest episode of Buffy, which is Hush. So that's my little dream. I would love for Doug Jones to come play one of our monsters.
Well, listen, we're putting it out there in the universe. Let's make it happen.
Manifest Doug Jones in season 2. Also manifest season 2 and 3 and 12, please.
Yeah, I guess to that end, they haven't officially announced anything as far as like if it's been renewed or.
No, unfortunately, we're all waiting with bated breath.
Now, you also have a credit with executive story editor. To people not in the know, what exactly is that job entail?
So it actually means different things depending on if you're in live action or animation. In Canadian live action, story editor is essentially synonymous with writer. But story editor pertains to your role within the writer's room itself, whereas your written by credit is whichever episode you were assigned to, you know, sit at the computer and bring to life on the page. So as a story editor, that means you're in the room, you're pitching ideas, you're helping break story, as we call it, which is literally putting a story together by breaking it down to its most fundamental parts, usually with index cards, or in the age of COVID, digital index cards. And then when drafts start coming in from the different writers, you read them together, you give notes on them, you punch up the jokes. It's a really, really collaborative role. So you have to be a team player, and you have to be really creative. And it's my dream job and I love it.
That's great. So it sounds like you're more hands-on as far as like developing the stories. Is that accurate to say?
Yeah, the showrunner is very much your guide in that, you know, Betsy and Noel had a very clear vision for what they wanted for the first season of this show, and your job as a writer and as a story editor is to help bring that vision to life. And part of that is bringing your own ideas to the table, and sort of building the story as you go. But yeah, they're the showrunner is very much your leader in that, I would say.
Nice. Yeah, it is. It's such a great show. And I just love how it, you know, again, just outside of just being so, you know, body positive and queer positive, it just has a lot of really fun twists and turns. I think the characters are so well developed. So kudos to that.
Thank you.
So yeah, just wrapping up, is there anything else that you have going on that you'd want to give a mention?
Well, I was also a writer on the video game Gotham Knights, which is scheduled to come out later this year. So
nice.
for the gamers in the audience, stay tuned for that. And yeah, I think my big thing to promote right now is just Astrid Lilly. Please watch the show if you haven't already. And if you have already, watch it again. You can watch it on SyFy's website or app. In Canada, you can watch it on CTV SyFy or on Crave. And please just keep watching it, keep telling people about it, because we really want to come back and tell more stories.
Yeah, and I will 100,000,000% endorse that. Check it out. It's great. Love it. We at Geek Vibes Nation loves it. So thank you so much for taking some time out to chat with us. And again, definitely check out the show.